One of the things we've discovered over the last few months, especially in Victoria, is just how many businesses have been seriously impacted by the COVID lockdown and the restrictions. Now, many of the people in the city have been excited and warmed by the fact that there has been a lifting of the curfew and a number of other things, but there are so many businesses that are still impacted. They've done everything they can to be COVID ready, COVID safe for their many clients, and still the government and the department, I think the Department of DHHS, says to them the answer is no, you're not ready to go yet. And one such person has reached out to us. Mind you, we've been inundated by people who cannot believe what's going on. Her name is Sia Psicharis. I know her from the Butologist in Carlisle Street, East St Kilda. Welcome, Sia. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, George. Thank you so much.
Now, have I made too light of it, or have I been on the money? You guys have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure you were ready to go. And you're also part of the organisation, aren't you? You're on the board of the industry.
I'm on the board of the Hair and Beauty Association, that's right. So we have been working really hard.
Now, how many does the board represent? How many in the industry?
I'm not quite certain on the exact numbers, but it does represent, it's part of the Retailers Association. So it falls under that umbrella as well. So we do have quite a bit of support. Paul Zara is the CEO of the Retailers Association.
Now, Paul has been making a case to get businesses back up and running. He's been making an awful lot of noise, but there hasn't been too much traction. Despite the recent opening or the recent easing of restrictions, your industry is still very much in lockdown.
Yeah. So we're very grateful that they've opened us up for some services, but our main services, which is skin, we don't even have a date, George. We don't even know if it's going to be this side of the year.
So what can you do at the moment? What are you allowed to do? And
we can do everything that a client leaves a mask on. So we can treat the eyes and the body.
Wow. So it's all right to go to a restaurant, it's all right to go to and have a coffee, sit down and talk to people basically 2 or 3 feet away from you, and yet you're not allowed to work with someone without a mask in your studio, even though you're prepared to go through all the rigmarole and the protocols required to get it up and running.
That's correct, George. And skin therapists also go through really intense training in infectious control. So that's what doesn't make sense. We were okay right up until now. We've been closed for 7 months. We were fine up until now. But the minute everything else gets opened and you can take your mask off to enjoy a drink with a friend or have a coffee, and yet a beauty therapist or skin therapist can't do a one-on-one treatment in an enclosed room with infectious control procedures in place.
Sia, tell me something. You said you've been closed for 7 months. How in heaven's name do businesses cope? You've got things to do like the fixed business costs, electricity, insurance, licensing fees. You've got rent to pay. How do you cope? How in heaven's name are businesses managing through these incredibly awkward times with so much disruption?
George, I look back and in the beginning it was the scariest moment, but then every other day it was just taking it slow. There was a lot of negotiation. The government helped immensely, I have to say, and make a point of that. JobKeeper took a lot of pressure off. Although none of us want JobKeeper, we all want to work. We don't want that. I've always worked my entire life. However, we must say that it was a brilliant
initiative
package, that they put together. Other than that, it was a lot of negotiation. It was step by step, and it was redirecting your services. So I poured a lot of time and effort and strategies into e-commerce. And communicating with my clients and obviously keeping my team as close as possible for their own mental health as well.
How about rent? Did landlords come to the party and help you and assist you?
Landlords, again, they still own properties, but they're also paying rent on. They're also paying their repayments on those things as well. So, it was, you need to be fair, and it was a negotiation. My landlord was great, but again, they were panicked in the beginning as well. So there was a lot of upset, there was a lot of anger, a lot of upset, a lot of crying, a lot of emotions, but we did get there in the end as far as support. Some people didn't have to pay rent at all. Others, like myself, I still paid 60% of mine.
Wow. On behalf of the industry, what would you like, if you could talk to government, if they're listening, what would you say to them right now to get things up and running and to allow you to get on with business?
Certainly. So we would like to work with the government. We understand what's happening. We're very aware of it. We would love to work with them. We've presented a few options, which is face shield, like a protective surface between us and the client, a barrier. We've come up with a few other things like different cleaning solutions and things like that. We just want to work with them. We would love to sit down with DHHS and work with, but we need to get open. We need to coexist.
We're talking to Sia Psiharis from Beautyologist in East St Kilda. Now, if there's one thing the public can do, what would you ask of them at this time?
Certainly. So get back into the streets, get back and support your local stores, street shopping. Let's bring that back and really support the locals who support Australian brands as well. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Now, should we get this trending on social media?
Absolutely. So we do have a hashtag that is trending at the moment for skin clinics. It's Save Vic Skin Clinic. So hashtag Save Vic Skin Clinics. There we go.
Lovely mouthful. Thank you very much, Sia. Well done. Sia Psiharis, we wish you all the very best. And let's hope, look, Christmas is coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So that'll put even more pressure on everyone to get it right. But you're right. The restrictions are lifting. DHHS needs to be listening. Confrontation we don't want. What we want is people to work together. Thank you, Sia, very much for joining us.
Thank you, George. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.